Hello students, in the previous lecture we have seen Euler's form of complex number. Now in this lecture we will be moving forward and looking at one of the most important theorems in complex number known as de Moivre's theorem, and we will be using that Euler's form of complex number in proving that theorem. So de Moivre's theorem. Okay, so what does this theorem explain, tells us? Let's see that. So for any complex number z with x as a real part and y is the imaginary part, which can also be represented in polar form as r cos theta, x as r cos theta, x as r cos theta, and y as r sin theta, as we have seen it before. This is what the representation in polar form, as well as in Euler form we can write it as r e to the power I theta. Okay, so this theorem tells us that if we have to calculate z to the power n, then z to the power n will be nothing but r to the power n cos of n theta plus I sin of n theta. Okay, that is, we can write at cos theta plus I sin theta the power n is same as cos of n theta plus I sin of n theta. Okay, this is de Moivre's theorem. Okay, this can be easily verified using this Euler's form, right? If we take e to the power r e to the power I theta and take its power n, then as we know that exponent power means this theta should be multiplied by this n, that is r to the power n times e to the power I theta times n. Okay, so theta times n is nothing but r to the power n e to the power I n theta. So this is same as r cos n theta plus I sin n theta, isn't it? This is same as this number. Okay, as we have seen that e to the power I theta is same as cos theta plus I sin theta. So this is the expression. So we use this result many times whenever we have to do power of some complex number. Okay, so this is de Moivre's theorem. So now we will be moving towards nth root of unity. What does nth root of unity means and where we are going to apply that, we will be looking after that. Okay, okay. Let us first take n is equal to 2. N is equal to 2. So second root of unity, what does it mean? It means that, say z is a complex number, then z square is equal to 1. What are the possible values of z? That will be the second root of unity. This 1 means unity. This is unity. So what are the values of z which satisfy this equation are the second root of unity. Okay, so what are the values of z? As for the definition for I is equal to root under minus 1, we see that. Okay, so if we take z square minus 1 is equal to 0, that is z plus 1 and z minus 1 is equal to 0. So from here it clearly we see that z is equal to 1 is plus 1 and another is minus 1. So second root of unity is 1 and minus 1, isn't it? Or in complex form we can write it as 1 plus 0i and 1 minus 1 plus 0i. Equivalently polar form, what can we write it in equivalent polar form? In polar form, this is cos theta and this is sin theta, right? So cos theta is 1 and sin theta is 0. That means theta must be 0 degree, okay? 0 degree or 2n pi, isn't it? Right? So this can be written in a form of, and what is its modulus? Modulus is 1. So 1 e to the power, let us not go to in Euler's form, 1 cos 0 degree or 2n pi plus I sin 0 degree, right? Or equivalently we can write it as minus 1 cos, if cos theta is minus 1, that means theta is odd multiple of pi, 2n plus 1 pi, right? So minus 1 plus 0 pi can be equivalently written in form of cos pi plus I sin pi, right? Okay. So without doing that, we can also do it in another way, that is representing this in a form of complex number. 1 can be written as e to the power 2n pi, right? I 2n pi, complex number. In Euler form, we can always write it in Euler form, e to the power I 2n pi, okay? Because this cos theta is equal to 1, theta is equal to 2n pi. So z will be e to the power I n pi, isn't it? 2, z is equal to e to the power I 2n pi, power 1 by 2 cancels each other, so n pi. So if n is odd, n can be either odd or even. If n is odd, then z is equal to 1, and if n is even, then z is equal to if n is odd, then z is equal to minus 1, right? Because for odd multiple of pi, cos theta is minus 1, and for even multiple of pi, cos theta is plus 1, okay? So z is equal to minus 1 when n is odd and plus 1 when n is even. Okay, if we plot this on our complex axis, say this is real x axis or real z axis, and this is real, this is imaginary z axis, right? So one complex number will be lying here, that is 1 is this and minus 1 is this, right? So this is 1, this is minus 1, and these are equidistant from the center, okay? Okay, till now we have observed this kind of things for n is equal to 2. Let us move towards n is equal to 3, that is cube root of unity, okay? n is equal to 3. Cube root of unity. So now we are trying to find the solution for this equation. Z cube is equal to 3, isn't it? The value of z which satisfy this equation, z cube is equal to 1. So again 1 can be written in the form of cos 2n pi plus I sin 2n pi, right? Or equivalently e to the power I 2n pi in Euler's form, okay? So z must be this to the power 1 by 3, that is cos 2n pi plus I sin 2n pi to the power 1 by 3, or e to the power I 2n pi power 1 by 3, which can be written as e to the power I 2n pi upon 3, okay? So here theta is 2n pi upon 3, okay? Now see, there are possibilities. N can be either multiple of 3m, or where m is integer. M is integer, again any integer. Okay, m can be 3m, n can be either in the terms of 3m plus 1, or n can be in the terms of 3m plus 2, right? So any integer is either a multiple of 3 or multiple of 3 plus 1 or multiple of 3 plus 2. You can see, say if you take any integer, let's take 7. So 7 is 6 plus 1, that is 3 times 2 plus 1. That means this 7 is in the category of 3m plus 1 kind. So any integer can be categorized in these three categories on the basis of multiple of 3, right? 3m, 3m plus 1 or 3m plus 2. Okay. So if we take say 3m, 3 times m, so this theta will be, if n is equal to 3m, then this theta will be 2 into 3m pi upon 3, right? So this is equivalent to 2m pi, right? Okay, so this is equivalent to 2m pi, and if we take theta equivalent to if we take n equivalent to 3m plus 1, then this theta is 2m pi plus pi by 2 pi by 3, isn't it? Are you getting? See, if we put 3m plus 1 here, then from 3m and plus 1 means 2m pi plus 2 pi, right? So 2m pi plus 2 pi is 2m pi plus 2 pi by 3, okay, right? So this theta will be 2m pi plus pi by 3. Now if we take theta as 3m plus 2, then this 2n pi by 3 will be, if we take n as 3m plus 2, so then theta is 2n pi by 3, that is 3m plus 2 pi by 3, right? Which is nothing but again 2m pi, but instead of 2 pi it is now 4 pi upon 3. Okay, so as we know, again for theta 360 degree rotation, that is if we 360 degree plus theta is equal to theta, right? Is equal to theta. This is nothing but theta, because we are moving a complete angle, right? So say this is our 0 degree. So if we move one complete angle and then again some theta value after completing and this complete angle, so this is nothing but this theta only. Okay, so that's why we always do 2n pi plus theta is equal to theta only. Okay, so this is equal to 4 pi by 3, we can write it as 4 pi by 3. Similarly, this is equal to 2 pi by 3. Okay, and this is equal to 0. Everybody know that this is complete angle, so this is 360 degree you write, or you write 0 degree, they are equivalent. Or radian, you can write 0 radian, 2 pi by 3 radian, and this is 4 pi by 3 radian in radians. Okay, now we have all the three roots. So one of the root is 1 into e to the power 0 I0, another root is 1 into e to the power I 2 pi by 3, and the last root is, third root is 1 e to the power I 4 pi by 3. Okay, so these are the three roots which we have calculated. Okay, that is cube root of unity. Let us visualize all these three roots. So we have z is equal to e to the power I 0. Let us call it as z1, z2 and z3. Okay, let us name it as roots. Z is equal to z1, z2 and z3. we got three roots, z1, z2 and z3. So let us name z1, let us name e to the power I0 as z1, which is equal to cos 0 plus I sin 0. This is nothing but 1 plus j0, isn't it? Second root, let us name e to the power I 2 pi by 3, z2 as. So this is equivalent to cos 2 pi by 3 plus I sin 2 pi by 3. In Cartesian form, cos 2 pi by 3 means cos 120 degree, which is equal to cos 120 degree, which is equal to cos 180 minus 60 degree, which is equal to minus of cos 60 degree, right? Cos 180 minus theta is minus of cos theta. So minus of cos 60 degree, which is minus half. And this sin 120 degree is sin 120 degree, that means sin 180 minus 60 degree, which is equal to sin 60 degree, because sin 180 minus theta is plus sin theta. So sin 60 degree, which is equal to root 3 by 2. So I times root 3 by 2. Okay. And the last one, third root, which is e to the power I 4 pi upon 3, which is equal to cos 4 pi upon 3 plus I sin 4 pi upon 3. Okay, which is equal to cos 4 pi upon 3. 4 pi upon 3 means 240 degree. So cos 240 degree is equal to cos 180 plus 60 degree, isn't it? 180 plus 60 degree is cos 240 degree, which is again equal to minus of cos 60 degree. Cos 180 plus theta is again minus cos theta. So this value is minus half. And now sin 240 degree is sin 180 plus 60, which is equivalent to minus sin 60 now, because sin 180 plus theta is minus sin theta. So this is, now this will be minus I root 3 by 2. Okay. So all the three roots we have listed, that is 1 plus j0, minus half plus I root 3 by 2 and minus half minus I root 3 by 2. Let us plot this all three roots in our Argand plane. So we have one root, that is straight 1, it's 1. So 1 must be here, this is, and this is 1, right? Another root is minus half plus root 3i by 2, or from it's more easier to plot from here because its magnitude is 1 and theta is 2 pi by 3, that is we have to rotate 2 pi, we have to move 2 pi by 3 angle, that is 120 degree from this x-axis. So which is almost here, right? So this angle is 120 degree. So another root is here. This is, and what is this distance? This distance is again 1, because this distance indicates the modulus of this complex number. So modulus of each z1, z2, z3 should be 1, because this is a result for cube root of unity, right? So we are finding the cube root of unity. So modulus of all these complex numbers should be 1, right? So modulus, its modulus, its modulus, or its modulus. If we calculate the modulus, we will be seeing that it is 1. So again, this is another complex number, and our third one will lie 240 degree, right? This is 240 degree, or we can say that minus 120 degree. So just below this, that is here, let us take. So this is our third root, okay, whose principal argument value is minus 120 degree, right? Because in principal argument we take the small angle which is less than pi, or which is less than this value, this pi value, or we can say that which is greater than minus pi. Okay, so these are the principal values of argument: 120 degree, minus 120 degree, and 0 degree of cube root of unity. So these complex numbers are 1 plus j0. Okay, this is with minus half as a real part and imaginary part root 3 by 2, right? And this is minus half as a real part and minus root 3 by 2 as a imaginary part. So one thing more, if we draw a circumcircle, which if we draw a circle with radius 1 and center as this origin, so we will be seeing that this circle will pass through all these 3 points, all these 3 roots, right? As it is clearly visible from this that these are all equidistant, 1 1 1, so this circle must pass through all these 3 points. So in case of n is equal to 2, while n is equal to 2, we have the roots 1 and another root as minus 1, right? So 1 and minus 1 are the roots, and this is minus 1 plus j0, this is 1 plus j0. Okay, this indicates actually the modulus value, and the argument is pi, that is 180 degree. Okay, so here also if we draw a circle of radius 1, this must pass through these 2 points. Okay, this also pass through these 2 points. In case of cube root of unity, this pass through all the 3 roots, right? Another observation is that if we take the sum of all the 3 roots of unity, in case of this cubic root of unity, that is cube root of unity, if we take the sum of all the 3 roots, so it is clearly visible that the sum is 0, right? 1 plus j0 plus minus half plus root 3 by 2 I plus minus half minus root 3 by 2 I. Okay, if we take the sum 1 minus half, it will be 0, and 0 plus root 3 minus root 3 again 0. So 0 plus 0 I, that is this origin. We get a complex number, this origin. So sum of all these 3 roots is 0. Here also sum of all these 2 roots, one root is minus 1 plus j0 and another is 1 plus j0, is 0. z1 plus z2 is 0 in this case. Here also z1 plus z2 plus z3 is equal to 0. Okay, so now we are ready for the generalization of the concept nth root of unity. Okay, so these are the observations we have made for n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, and we can generalize this concept for nth root of unity. Okay, so we will be doing that now. So now we have to find the solution for z to the power n is equal to 1. Of course there should be n roots, right? Because for n is equal to 2 there are 2 roots, for n is equal to 3 there are 2 roots, so 3 roots. So for z to the power n is equal to 1 there must be n roots. Okay, n roots. So let's call these roots as alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 dot 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 alpha n. Okay, these are the nth roots, n roots of unity, n roots of unity. Okay, n roots of unity, these are n roots of unity. And if we plot these n roots on Argand plane, okay, then they must lie on a circle of radius 1, right? Okay, so let us write again z to the power n is equal to 1, which is nothing but e to the power I 2n pi. Let us not take this n and this m similar, so let us call it 2r pi, where r is a 2r pi, where r is an integer. Okay, so z must be equal to e to the power I 2r pi to the power 1 by n, right, which is equal to e to the power I 2r pi upon n. Okay. Again, depending on the value of r, for we have seen that for 3, n is equal to 3, the value of any integer r, that is we have taken n in that case, previous case. All integers can be written in the form of either the multiples of 3 or multiple of 3 plus 1 or multiple of 3 plus 2. Similarly here, we can write this r in form of either the multiples of n plus 1, multiples of n plus 2, multiples of n plus 3, till multiples of n plus n minus 1, because dividing by n, any number if we divide it by n will give remainder as 0, 1, 2, 3 till n minus 1, isn't it? So r can be between 0, 1, 2, 3 to, I mean this r can be written in a form of m times n plus 0, 1, 2, 3 dot 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 n minus 1. So we have the roots, like first root will be definitely if remainder is 0, that is e to the power I 2 pi upon n. Okay. Second root is when remainder is 1, that is here the case is r is equal to m times n, simply m times n, that is the multiple of n. If r is a multiple of n, where m is also an integer. Okay, so if we substitute in place of r m times n, this then n will be cancelled and we will get 2m pi. Okay, so if r is equal to 2m pi, then one of the root is 2m pi. So 2m pi we can write it clearly. Let us write in the fashion 2m pi. This is the first root. Second root will be if r is equal to, this is for r is equal to multiple of n. This is for second root will be for r is equal to multiple of n plus 1, right? So we will be getting I 2m pi plus 2 pi upon n, right? Similarly, we will be getting second root as e to the power I 2m pi plus 4 pi upon n. Okay, and similarly nth root as e to the power I 2m pi plus, this value should be 2 pi into 1, 2 pi into 2, that means n minus 1, 2 in times n minus 1 pi upon n, right? 2 times n minus 1 into pi upon n, that is n minus 1 into 2 pi upon n. So clearly from here this 2m pi can again written as 0, because we know that one complete angle is 0 degree only. So the roots are nothing but e to the power I0, e to the power I 2 pi upon n, e to the power I 4 pi upon n, and so on till e to the power I n minus 1 times 2 pi upon n, isn't it? So basically these are the alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 dot 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 alpha n. That is, we have to, if we want to plot this, then basically these all are equally spaced, right? As in cube root of unity, if we plot cube root of unity, one root is here, another is here, another is here. So these are equally spaced, 120 degree, again 120 degree, and again 120 degree, right? 120 degree and 120 degree. 120, that means 3 roots, there are 3 roots, so 360 upon 3, that is 120 degree, equally spaced. So here also in roots are equally spaced, that is the whole complete angle is 2 pi. So they are equally spaced by angle 2 pi upon n, isn't it? So one root, first root will be nothing but 1, because 1 is always the root. Second root will be, say here. So what is this complex number? This complex number is nothing but, this angle should be 2 pi upon n, isn't it? 2 pi upon n. That means if we write this complex number, then we write it as I mean r, which is 1. R means this modulus of this complex number, which is 1, e to the power I 2 pi upon n. Okay. Second complex number will be again 2 pi upon n spaced. So this is our let us denote it by red color. So this is our second root. Again we we will get similarly n roots on this circle, n points on this circle which are equally spaced. Okay, n points on this circle which are equally spaced. So this is our final root, which is, if we take principal argument, then we will be calling it minus of 2 pi upon n, or we can call it as 2 times n minus 1 pi upon n, which is same as this. Again you notice that 2n, this is nothing but 2n pi upon n minus 2 pi upon n. So this is 2 pi minus 2 pi upon n, which is minus of 2 pi upon n. So we are getting n roots which are equally spaced on the circle. Okay, as from the last two observations for n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3. Now let us club all these observations together for nth root of unity. So this set alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 dot 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 alpha n is nothing but equivalent to the set e to the power I 2 pi upon n, to the power I 4 pi upon n dot 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 e to the power I n minus 1 into 2 pi upon n. Isn't it right? So here also, if we see that, if we take the sum alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus dot 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 alpha n, we will get 0 as a result. Okay, that is sum of nth root of unity is 0. Sum of nth root of unity is 0. Okay, let us take the product of these nth root of unity. Let us take first in case of third root of unity. What are the three roots of unity? For third root of unity, what is the third root of unity? One is e to the power I, one is e to the power I0, another is e to the power I 2 pi by 3, and last is e to the power I 4 pi by 3. So alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. So what are their products? Alpha 1 times alpha 2 times alpha 3. If we multiply it, then this is 1, this is minus half plus root 3 by 2i, and this is minus half minus root 3 by 2i. Okay, so this is equal to minus half square a square minus b square minus root 3 by 2i square, which is again equal to 1 by 4 plus, this is minus root 3 by 2 square, which is 3 upon 4 I square, 3 upon 4 minus 3 upon 4, which is 3 by 4, which is equal to 1. Okay, or in this Euler's form we can also take a product, that is e to the power I0 plus 2 pi by 3 plus 4 pi by 3, which is equal to e to the power I 0 plus 2 pi plus 4 pi, 6 pi by 3, that is e to the power I 2 pi, which is equal to 1, isn't it? So product of these roots of unity must be equal to 1, right? So here also for n root of unity, nth root of unity, n roots, alpha 1 times alpha 2 times alpha 3 dot 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 alpha n must be equal to 1, right? That is product of nth root, n roots of unity is equal to 1. Okay, fine. So this is the concept for nth root of unity. I will give you a homework, just a simple exercise, and we will be discussing that problem in later lecture, next lecture that is. So you have to find the roots of nth roots of, let us not say nth root, you have, let us give it sixth root of say 3, and second question is find 6 again, say 6 root of minus 4. Okay, so these are the two problems which I have given now. We will be discussing this problem in next lecture. Okay, thank you.